What's up, y'all? Today, we're talking about envy on the OC Podcast, the world's #1 largest Bible-based music business podcast. So envy is when you really want something really badly that somebody else has, and like you're willing to do whatever you have to do to get that thing, even if it comes down to something nefarious, something violent. So we're going to be talking about some stories in the Bible that explain envy perfectly. As always, before we get started, hit that like button if you're feeling the threads. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you can see all our future videos. So we got envy in the Bible. Right at the very beginning of the Bible is this story about Cain and Abel. So Cain brings some of the fruits of the soil. Abel brings some fat portions from the firstborn of his flock. So the Lord looks with favor on Abel, but on Cain and his offering he did not look with favor. So I guess we can safely say God is not much of a vegetarian. So Cain was so angry, he gets in an argument with God, and God basically says, get over it. You must rule over it. He's talking about the sin of being envious. And y'all know how the story ends. Cain says to his brother, let's go out in the field. And while they're in the field, Cain attacks and kills his brother Abel. So due to the envy of how God was treating his brother Abel so much better than him, rather than just do whatever he has to do to try and improve the status of his relationship with God, he just goes out and tries to solve it himself with good old-fashioned violence. Next up, we got James. And James says, if you harbor bitter envy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast about it or deny the truth. So I found a really nifty explanation of this Bible verse, and I thought it was interesting because it brings up a really good point about envy. The question is, why would anyone boast about being consumed with envy? Think about career and motivational advice we hear every day. The typical life coach will tell you to look around, decide what you want, and make a plan to get it. So the successful person is the one who knows what they want and gets it in the end. But the problem is, most of the people that are trying to get this kind of advice, they really don't know what they want. All they want is the riches or the fame or the wealth of others. So that means the problem is that this approach to life is usually built on envy. I will do whatever it takes to get that for myself. Keep these two understandings of envy in the back of your mind. So here's the first story I got for y'all. It's kind of a spicy one. You've been warned. We got two pop stars here. We got Normani and Camila Cabello. Normani is staying silent no more. The motivation singer is opening up about the elephant in the room. Okay, so this is a really, really, really big deal. And we're talking about the racist posts and memes that Camila Cabello shared as a teen, which resurfaced late last year. Whenever you hear about posts being resurfaced, you can pretty much ignore the story. This is basically a non-story because we're talking about something that this young lady posted when she was 14 years old. Okay, people post stupid things when they're 14 years old. It's not an elephant in the room. You're supposed to be this person's friend, and you're in a group with them, and you're supposed to be on the same team. So Normani says, it would be dishonest if I said this particular scenario didn't hurt me. Oh, I'm sure it's so hurtful that some Tumblr post from 10 years ago that a little kid wrote, it's just so hurtful. Yeah, I'm sure you're not hamming it up at all to boost your own career as you stab your friend in the back. I'm sure, no, that's not what's going on here at all. The 22-year-old singer had to apologize for the ignorant and hurtful language she employed in her Tumblr post, which includes all of this stuff which I cannot speak of because I will be demonetized. So obviously the evil and hateful Camila Cabello says, I believe everyone deserves the opportunity for personal growth, and she remains optimistic that an important lesson was learned. But you see, that's not really allowed in 2020, is it? Because there's no such thing as personal growth. If you said one bad thing ever in your entire life when you're a little toddler crawling around your mommy's bedroom and you said a no-no word, that means that you should be doxxed, and you should be fired from your job, and you should have your entire family harassed. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. I don't think this is a constructive way to resolve cultural conflicts. And in fact, it increases the divide between people and cultures and groups. And, these guys are making it really hard to live in a diverse, multicultural society while out of the other side of their mouth claiming how great it is to be diverse and multicultural. If you read into this story a little further, you'll find out that Camila Cabello was actually planning on launching her own solo career. If you're a part of a 5-piece group, which means that your paycheck is getting cut in 5 pieces, and then all of a sudden, one of those pieces starts getting some success on their own without needing the other 4 members of the group, well, I can imagine there's a lot of envy in the heart of Normani. That's what inspired her to do whatever it took to take down her supposed friend, stab her in the back, but she's never going to be expected to apologize. So the next article I got here is about feuds and beefs among the biggest celebrities that you've ever heard of. Kid Rock and Tommy Lee. So Pamela Anderson was married to Tommy Lee, then she was married to Kid Rock. Kid Rock says that, I'm going to go after you the next time I see you. So Lee intentionally jumped into Rock's seat, and the two actually had a physical fight during the broadcast in which Rock punched the Motley Crue drummer before security broke it up. Is it really worth having such a deep level of envy to be the guy on national television starting a fight with another musician? Next up, we got 50 Cent versus Ja Rule. So both of these guys, 50 Cent and Ja Rule, are both from Queens. And so they bumped heads at a nightclub. Things turned physical. Later in 2000, 50 Cent was stabbed at a recording studio, and he was shot 9 times in front of his grandmother's home. So they have not buried this feud. It has apparently led to violence, which is not 50 Cent saying this. This is the authorities. This is the police investigators. Both of these guys engaging in drug dealing and disputes over territories and blocks and, parts of town where if one guy gains a level of control over their part of town, then you could see how envy could play a role in incentivizing one guy to take the other guy out. Last but not least, we got Tupac versus Biggie, and me and Connor actually did an entire video on Tupac versus Biggie, which you can see in this video right up here. But I'll briefly go over it here. Tupac was robbed and shot in the lobby of a recording studio where he was supposed to meet Biggie. They both released diss tracks back and forth. Unfortunately, they never were able to repair their friendship. They were both shot and killed within a few months of one another. So this story might not be as simple as just saying, well, Biggie was jealous because Tupac was a better rapper, or vice versa. I think this had to do with actually the administration trying to pull the strings and trying to knock the other guy down in order to help them achieve a higher level of status. So the last story I got is about Katy Perry and Taylor Swift. Now, I wanted to end it on a little bit of a positive note, because this is more about the ending of a feud and how once you get yourself in hot water, you can actually kind of save it. So we got this article by the Washington Post with this very ominous tagline about democracy dying. Anyway, the timing of Taylor Swift and Katy Perry ending their feud is suspiciously perfect. So the feud between Katy Perry and Taylor Swift started when a few of Taylor Swift's backup dancers jumped ship to Perry's tour. So there's diss tracks going here. Taylor Swift's Bad Blood music video featured the pop star and her squad of celebrity friends ready to fight a battle. Then we have the passive-aggressive tweets. So what happens is, apparently, Katy Perry sends Taylor Swift an actual real-life olive branch as like a sign of peace, right? Hours before the first concert of her Reputation tour, Swift posted an Instagram story with the image of an olive branch and a caption, "Thank you, Katy." So she puts a short video up and says, "I just got to my dressing room and found this actual olive branch." So the posting of the olive branch is actually kind of interesting here because of the timing. The 1-2 punch of her regular publicity with the addition of the Instagram story will guarantee Swift in the news cycle. When you have these two pop star divas who are already well known and well received in the public spotlight, even a beef, even envy, even this level of negativity can actually work out to their benefit. However, I don't think the same strategy would work for the lower level independent musicians and artists out there. I wouldn't go around just trying to start beefs with each other and then sending each other olive branches and posting it on Instagram. It probably won't work the same for you because, well, you don't have 107 million followers on Instagram. So that's all I got for y'all in this week's episode of the OC Podcast, the world's #1 largest Bible-based music business podcast. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think of envy? Have you experienced envy? What about your music career? Have you sensed a level of envy and distrust and like coveting and this idea of like whatever it takes, whoever I have to knock down, whoever I have to attack and cancel and harass? Have you experienced that in your own local music scene? Have you squashed any of your beefs with other artists, with other musicians? How have you done it? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure to like this video. Definitely subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell. Turn on all the notifications if you want to be notified of our future video releases. Definitely share this video with all of the Katy Perry fans, Taylor Swift fans, 50 Cent fans, Ja Rule fans. Just let them all know the pitfalls of envy and how they can avoid it in their own lives. On March 28th, we got Jazz Guitar Legends. You can get your tickets to that. Come see me live. We're doing a tribute to great, amazing guitar players. I also just completed the most epic recording project that I've ever done. I basically did an entire album in one take, live on camera, which you can see me create every single track, improvise the vocals, do all the vocal harmonies. You can watch that right up here. So I'll see you guys on the next video, and I think we should all definitely be more like Katy Perry. And instead of worrying about how to knock each other down, let's think about how we can extend an olive branch, create some peace, and create some teamwork. That's how you get the money.